Rules being proposed by the DOJ. Critics argue these will allow the administration to accomplish more gun control without having to go through that annoying Congress. Here to explain, Dana Lash, host of Dana on the Blaze TV and author of Hands Off My Gun. That's exactly what it is. You can argue whether it's good or bad, but it's clear the president couldn't get his gun control agenda through Congress, through the democratically controlled Senate at the time, and now he is trying to do it through the executive branch, through the Department of Justice, what he could not pass through the people's elected representatives.
Absolutely. Megan, thanks for having me. And he's even been unsuccessful at the state level, as a lot of Bloomberg-backed lobbyists have discovered with recently in Colorado and in Texas especially, where you see open carry and campus carry moving forward. But with regards to the Department of Justice coming up with this, it is weird, and a lot of people are questioning why the DOJ is involved in pushing these regulations that directly impact and regulate Second Amendment natural rights. And
what do they do? What are the new regulations going to do?
That's what's interesting, because they're always incredibly vague about this, as they always are whenever they announce this. Two things that we do know. The first of which is that the Department of Justice would like to see the ATF modify at least one of the rules that it has and make it to where if someone is convicted of misdemeanor domestic assault, that they are no longer able to go out and purchase a firearm, which they're not as it is already. And this is something that the Supreme Court recently upheld just last year. And with that,
the Supreme Court limited to you have to be convicted of something like a physical assault for domestic violence to be banned, and they want to expand that.
Physical assault, right? There has to be bodily harm, because this kind of differs state by state. And what they're trying to do, Megan, is they want it to be this blanket term instead of doing it as a case-by-case basis, as it has always been done. And there are people saying, well, wow, one instance that isn't really malicious, one instance could actually invalidate someone's Second Amendment natural rights forever. That's a really serious thing. And the second thing, Megan, that they're looking to do is, in my opinion, they're looking to make it a little bit easier to adjudicate someone as being mentally unfit. Now, we saw a problem with this just recently with New York SAFE Act, in which you had last year 34,000 people were found to be mentally unfit to actually go out and legally possess a firearm. And these people all they had done, Megan, is just go and seek out mental health psychologists, go talk to a psychologist recently, mental health. And there are a lot of mental health experts out there that are saying, look, there's a huge difference between someone who is a dangerous threat and someone who is an assumed threat. Just because someone goes and maybe speaks with a psychologist, maybe it's a mother who had a child and is just going through baby blues.
This is all debated and couldn't get through the Congress.
Right.
So now this is going to happen. I mean, unless something extraordinary happens, the rules being proposed, it'll be finalized in the fall, but this is going to happen unless some people, because it seems a little odd that, I mean, I've heard it before. You couldn't get it through the Congress. This is kind of how the process is supposed to work, and therefore he just found another way. He said, noogies, I'm doing it.
Yeah, and there was a reason that it was difficult for it to get through, because it wasn't supported not just by the majority of American voters, but it wasn't supported by the majority of Congress. I mean, you had Harry Reid, when he was still the Senate Majority Leader, stripping out controversial portions and portions that he thought were unfit, for instance, from Dianne Feinstein's quote-unquote assault weapons ban bill. But not only that, but this is something, there's never anything concrete, there's never anything completely specific, but this is a feature, Megan, of the system. It's not supposed to be super easy to shove through huge, sweeping, changing pieces of legislation that has such a massive impact on natural rights.
The existing laws. It's not supposed to be a way of creating entirely new laws, which, I mean, the last time I checked, is supposed to be the Congress's function, and then the president signs it, and remember, that's how the bill becomes the law. If, school laws helps me recall. But no, not really in this administration. I mean, this is a very controversial issue.
It is, and something huge to point out, Megan, if you look at the recent mass shootings with Jared Loughner, if you look at James Lee, who's the guy who went into the Discovery Channel headquarters, if you look at James Holmes in Colorado,
don't see any more names.
These are instances, I know, these are instances, though, where you have individuals who clearly could have easily been adjudicated mentally unfit, but Megan, the process wasn't followed. With the Arizona killer, the guy who shot at Gabby Giffords, this is a guy who had been banned from his college campus. His college campus
we need to shore up the mental health system. That's absolutely.
Exactly.
And very much remains to be done in every regard.
And people need to follow that process. Thank you, Megan.
Great to see you, as always. Well, from Baltimore tonight comes some troubling new numbers and one big question. Since the day Freddie Gray was arrested, 51 people have been killed in Baltimore. 47 of those people have been black. Not one died at the hands of the police officers. Who's protesting that? Where's the mayor on that? Where's Al Sharpton on that? Plus, from the front of a Wheaties box,